Just now I heard a crash. I don't know if she fell. I can walk into horror. This is how I have to live because she won't keep herself safe. Did you fall? What was that crash? Scared me. All right, but you got in that wheelchair, didn't you? Just relax, Sebastian. Look, there it is. It's good. I told you not to worry about you. I'm getting up in an hour. Please just go back to the bed. You have everything you can do yourself. I can put the bed all the way up. Just please stay in bed for an hour. Okay? I heard a crash. That's when I heard a crash. She was falling to the floor. I don't even know how. Where'd she go? We got Omi. We fell to the floor. He said until she came off the wheelchair, remember? And I don't know. I didn't witness it. I don't know how he fell. So why don't you watch Sesame Paradise? I've been watching it for months now. It's really good. But you can't. Just go back to the bed, please. Turn off the window. Every time I hear a crash, I think I'm going to go into horror. Well, look, you can't sit. It's all these pillows. The bed is all the way up. It's like that. You can't have your feet up like that. You gotta sit up more. You can't. It's all the way up. And if it's all the way up, you can have your feet touch that. That's not good. If it goes up more than you're allowed to have it, you're going to press against the bed more. Lift up. Don't use your pillow. You sit your ass back. You want your feet pressing against there. Right? Have you been watching this? I wouldn't mind it. Every time I hear a crash, I get scared, Mom. I hear the crash. The other day, he would fall. Sound asleep. You move over so you better not fucking hit the bed. Look, you need to just do this yourself. Just stay in bed how I put you an hour ago. But you can only sit up so far or your feet will press against that floor, won't they?
just the thing to the hospital bed that fell. The other night, it wasn't, or rather the middle of the night, it wasn't, it was her that had fallen. Can't tell the difference. She wants for nothing. She just won't accept reality. Stupid things that I got on my belly in that hotel. Urgent care nurse, nurse practitioner or something, thought it might be shingles, but it was shingles. It didn't develop into the horrible thing they show on the television. Just with a tiny bit on my back and a tiny bit on my front. I put aloe on it. It's still there. It didn't ever got like the horrible pretty thing. Oh, feed. Holy mackerel, I really want to tell you I'm sorry. I can't fight this feeling anymore. Alright, speed back. Hard for me to say I'm sorry, Chicago. Tell it to my heart. All these awesome songs playing on the radio, blasting, almost full blast my boombox. Boombox I had to buy, had to have delivered to the hotel because we were going to have to sit here, me and my mom, all day long, potentially, waiting for the pack rat container to arrive. Then the pack rat container arrives, finally. It was running late, like ridiculously late. And you don't get told, you just wait and wait and wait. And then it wound up being way past even the time it was supposed to be. Oh well. And then huge problems with it. It was packed horribly, horribly. The 3 men were just boys, they were young. It was supposed to be 2, but the boss of the company. Because remember, you're just getting a company. It's just basically the one that I chose was we bid on it or bid on, it's just whatever. But their boss decided to send 3 instead of 2. I only paid for 2, but I got 3, and they were all right. They cared enough at least, or they wanted to make sure they weren't blamed, more likely, to call me out and to say, look at how horrible this was packed. Look at this, taking pictures and telling me to take pictures. Meanwhile, my mother was putting her life in grave danger inside the house, and unbeknownst to me. The house I never would have bought had I been not under duress. If you're living in a hotel for fucking months, 6 weeks with your mother who unable to grasp the concept or doesn't care because she lives in denial in La La Land that we can't make noise. You cannot be yelling in the middle of the night they have a clause, which is a quiet clause, to protect the other residents from, and they can't hear me. Oh yeah, they can, Mom. Of course they can. And they can complain, and we can be thrown out on the street. Then what? And then I hoped once we got here it would be all right. But then within a week, I was watching TV on the free TV we got in the living room. Yeah, that really makes up for it. Like a $500 Roku, a nice TV. They didn't give it out of the goodness of their heart. They gave it because they didn't want to have to take it out of the wall. It might have wrecked the wall. It was all attached to the wall, and then they wrecked the wall, and that'll cost them more than just leave the fucking TV for me and my mom. The fact is, doesn't all the tens of thousands of dollars that I don't have that need to go into this house. I mean, oh my God, it's just sickening. And now there's a fucking squirrel in my house. I watched it go into the gutter that got broken because the guy was trying to clean the gutters he was never asked to clean. And he knocks it down. And I don't know anything about houses or gutters, and it was left wider in a worse condition than when he had, it was hanging. Now the fucking squirrel, and I watched it go in. That's not good. It's all not good. It's not good. But think about it. We had just gone to this house after 6+ weeks in the hotel with her here, and me nearly that in Massachusetts, okay? The very first time she attempted to get into the wheelchair from her bed, and it was the queen bed, it wasn't a medical bed, could have been the end of her. She could have fallen, and what happened weeks later with the blood and the this and that could have happened right when we got here. Right when we got here, within a few days. Okay? She was able to do it then, got cocky, thinking she can always do it because her brain is fried from decades of the toxins, of all the medication she quote unquote has to take to keep her from breaking and having a psychotic break and all that. Remember, that's what they, whatever the hospital they call it, Oh, the benefits outweigh the risks or whatever. And that's it. But she tried it. The first time she tried it, it could have been the last time she was even breathing in this life. Okay? But then subsequent times, I stopped her. She did it more than once, and then she's cocky, but then she can't do it. It's contingent upon a lot of things. Remember, that time that she did it, she had just gone to bed. It wasn't the middle of the night when she's so groggy and on really powerful meds that knock you out, more or less. You see? But she doesn't think about that. She thinks, oh, I did it, but once I can do it always. It'll never happen that I can't do it. No, that's not true. It's not true. And she did it the other day. Okay, remember she just got home from the awful, beyond what I would have fathomed ever, skilled nursing facility. You're a high-rated facility, and I find my meds all over your fucking floor. I hear twice, and so did my mom, because she told me, you're getting your meds late. I have 30, 40 people to do, and that's the way it goes. And then they forgot to give it to her one day. And, and I believe her. Why wouldn't I believe her? She's telling me this, and I know I found her meds all over the floor another day. So, yeah, I do believe her. I do. Why wouldn't I? She says it was a day that the nurse came and said, I'm sorry, it was afternoon, I forgot to give you your meds today, and then making the excuse of how many residents she has to give meds to, and it was on the weekend, and weekends are bad, and that was all she wrote, right? My mom's dementia. And remember, schizophrenic since I was 10 years old. 10 years old, 10 years old, okay? So all those decades of all the meds and all the illness and in and out of mental hospital and all of that. And then in the end, she's got the mild dementia, but it's all combined. The thing is, just because she has poor safety awareness and thinks she's 30 years old, and I don't want to be, you want me to be with an old man, I'm 30, I want to be with a young guy, and all this crap. That doesn't mean she's not aware of other things, like getting her meds in the late afternoon when she's supposed to get them in the early morning. And then getting apologized to by a nurse who said, I'm overworked. And I'll add in underpaid and overworked. And yet you're a high-rated facility. You know, I'm appalled. I'm disgusted. But there's always something, you know. Every home health agency my mom's ever had, the physical therapist comes twice a week. Do I know that's going to happen with this agency? No. I hired an agency blind. I picked a top-rated agency, and that's who I told the social worker to get. I mean, the industry standard in Massachusetts is twice a week for physical therapy, no matter what. Once a week would be a joke. We just had the physical therapist here. Did he say he'd be coming twice a week? No. So, you know, who knows? Who knows? I only know what I know, and I only know things are going to vary from state to state, but he did say that whole bullshit where they don't give any meetings for short-term residents that involve where you invite the family to meet and to have a progress, you know, a discharge plan and to see how your loved one's progressing and all that. And this physical therapist was like, you know, of course the social worker in this place, because everybody wants to believe their place is wonderful, and again, they have the backup, it's high rated, right? That's their proof in quotations. He said, I've known facilities where they have meetings like every 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like, yeah, it makes no sense when I'm told every 3 months when it's a short-term rehab and you won't be in there more than 4 or 5 weeks, you know? I want to kiss the ground today, though. I'm finally going to have my room darkening curtains shows coming to put them up. I have to bathe my mom and me. And I took down the person that was here. I've been bathing with his fucking shower liner that's all gross down the bottom. And just the idea of bathing with his when I should have put up my own, but I didn't. Because I felt so overwhelmed. And now that I watched a squirrel, it's pure chance I saw it. I watched it go in the gutter and disappear, which means it's in my house. They can wreak havoc. They can chew on wires. You can have a fire. Joe was like, I said, well, Joe, when I told you I heard scratching in my ceiling, you made light of it and said, oh, you have worse problems. That's at least your problems. Then he denies it, and he's like, well, I thought it was a mouse. We can't assume it's a mouse. Can't assume it's a mouse. It could be anything. You led me to believe it's no big deal. It's pure chance I saw the fucking squirrel going in. It's like, well, that's why you need to get your cherries cut back. I know, I need to do all this crap that I would have done had I not felt so overwhelmed by the fucking water in the basement and disclosure not properly filled out, and my agent that you had and liked years ago bought your house when you bought your house you love, and she said this was a good house. Yeah, Laura, she just she was done with us. She was tired of your mom and having to go along and everything delayed. If your mom we have to stop somewhere and pee and all this crap. And where Joe and I would see the house one at a time, separate. I would wait in the car with my mom while Joe looked at the house if we went at the same time, and then I would go in, but you're under duress because you don't know when my mother's gonna have to pee, and and you can't really think straight, and I was tired of living in hotels, and then there were times that Joe went and looked at a house on his own more than once, and then but you know, even me having to sign things in a hotel computer with people behind me, and Joe's like, they're not looking. It's not the point, Joe, if they're looking or not looking. It's just the whole idea of it. We were just in chains, so we overlooked stuff. And in the end, I left it up to Joe, which was leaving it up to fate. If you said don't get it, this is when we went on our walkthrough, not the final walkthrough, the pre-walkthrough. And Joe's like, it's the best you're gonna get, just get it. And I wasn't even really aware, even subconsciously, when I, again, under duress, when I looked at it, Joe went in first. The time is ticking. My mother's gonna pee in his car, so we're rushed, and that's why Joe kept saying this is an untenable situation. All right, Joe, but we're here and it has to be tenable. We have to make it work, even if we get an apartment, me and my mom. We have to do something. But being deceived, especially, I feel like I was just in a dream, really. In a dream where, they're scum and they knew they had us by the balls, because then our agent, my agent rather, was Joe's former agent, was, trying to get them to make a decision. Of course, they got the proof of funds, and they're like, oh, we have fresh meat, and they being coy. That's my agent. Like, how am I going to have confidence in anything when you say to me, she's known in the industry as being unethical, and then she's being coy. And then I said, well, why couldn't we have put in a whatever you call it, where you put in a thing where you'd go up a certain amount and this, that, whatever that's called. And she's like, because she wouldn't say if she had any other bids on the house. And she was being coy, as my agent says to me, she's being coy, and you'd be bidding against yourself if you did that. It's only supposed to be if there's another bid, and then you put in, and then you'd have a bidding war, and you put in, I'm willing to go to this much in increments of 100, and in the end, I can prove that the bitch didn't, and when I read online, the bitch didn't fill out the disclosure properly, but my agent failed me, and so did the inspector, and I was supposed to talk to him, even though he's just going to make excuses. But he did call me, and then the whole thing's happening with my mom, and I haven't even talked to the guy about the mold. I haven't even looked at the mold report because I feel so fucking overwhelmed. Again, Squirrel, I saw it. I saw it. If you hear scratching and you don't know what's in there, like Joe before had bees in his house. But he's like, if you have a squirrel up there, they're making a nest and acorns and this, that. I'm like, what am I gonna do? What the hell am I gonna do? And then I don't want to kill it. And Joe's like, well, good. I'm like, Mom, Joe, it doesn't matter if you hunt for a squirrel and then kill it. I'm not going to have it killed in my house. I want it humanely removed. Well, Joe's like, I have a trap we could set outside. But if we set a trap outside, there could be a million squirrels, figuratively speaking. There could be a bunch of squirrels. We set one trap and the other squirrel's in my house having a field day, and his friend is caught in the trap of yours. And if I have to have all this stuff done, I have to make sure when we do repair the gutter, however much that costs, we have it blocked off so this where we don't repair it with the squirrel all the way in. So the squirrel has to be removed and the gutter has to be repaired at the same time, which isn't going to happen in this life. Or we have to make damn sure that the squirrel can't get back in or any of his friends. It's just another fucking thing. overwhelming me to the point that I become immobilized and I don't do anything. But my morale needs these bedroom curtains up because Joe's like, remember Joe's got a new job now part-time, but Joe's like, I can do your lawn or I can do your curtains. I'm like, Joe, I need my curtains done. Fuck the lawn. I've needed my curtains done. For all we know, we wouldn't be able to do them because we didn't do it. And then screws, and we ordered that thing from Wayfair. And if it's too late, oh well, Laura's out of luck, and she has to have the sun shining in her eyes, and then she's supposed to do everything right. Oh well, worried every split second her mom's gonna do something incredibly foolish and just because she just has no safety awareness to speak of, and it's in her permanent records on medical back in Massachusetts. Poor safety awareness. They all know. They all know. And now this place that she just got out of should know too if the aide did her job and wrote it in the notes. Because she witnessed it. My mom not using her walker or her wheelchair the day of her discharge because she needs to feed the bugs. And she got up and just, because God told her to feed the bugs. If God tells her to feed the bugs, God's not going to let her fall, right? I have it in a voicemail. They took my food away and I wanted to feed the bugs. The bugs need to eat the babies. God told me that. Oh my God. It's too fucking much. And then we go outside on the deck. I bring chairs out. I bring her a drink. I bring her her exercise thing to do that she got from the place, and the stress ball, and the this, and the that. And I have the music blasting. And it's hardly my favorite music, but it's enjoyable enough because it's all songs that I know, and, all the old stuff. And she can't even be happy. I'm trying to walk back and forth and get my exercise in, thinking this is all I'm going to get. There's no walking for an hour anymore. And I can't go and get my stuff repaired at the dental. I'm not going to be able to get my hair done or my dental cleaning or anything.